What is going on, BTB family? I'm Kollman Gearhart, former D1 athlete, coach, and creator of the BTB Project. Every single week, I'm bringing on exciting guests, talking about purpose, mindset, and what it really means to be built to be. And if you're a current or former athlete getting ready to rebuild your identity, discipline, and purpose beyond the game, I'm really excited to announce the BTB Blueprint. This is a 12-week coaching experience by me designed to help you win at the next season of your life. I want you to tap the link in the show notes, DM me, BTB on Instagram to learn more. And if you're one of the first 5 people to shoot me a DM, I'm offering you this course for free. Now let's get into today's episode. Realize that adversity doesn't break you, it builds you up. And the lessons tennis has taught me, discipline, resilience, teamwork, perseverance, those were the same tools that I used to rebuild my life. That's when I knew I had to become the coach I never had. What are you built to be? What are you built to become? The time is now. The time is right now. You weren't built to break. You were built to be something greater. Welcome to season 2 of the BTB Project. I'm your host, Kollman Gearhart. I was an overweight kid, one counted out, lost 100 pounds, found purpose in the pain, and turned my setbacks into a story worth telling. This podcast isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about identity, discipline, and comebacks. Getting up one more time and becoming who we're always meant to be. If you're ready to go deep, do the work, and live out what you're built to be, you're in the right place. Let's lock in, let's rise, and let's get to work. Welcome back to the BTB Project. I'm your host, Kollman Gearhart. And in today's BTB short, we're going to dive deep into the coach I never had. And as you know from listening to the Project podcast, I've always been around athletes my entire life. And one thing that I've learned about athletes is the game always ends. Your full-time playing career, for the most part, will draw to a conclusion. The sun will set, and you'll have to be able to decide and figure out what's next in your life. That's the real question. When the game ends, what happens next? I started the BTB Project to inspire others to help find their purpose beyond the circumstances that they've had to deal with in their life. But today I want to share something that's been years in the making, and I could not be more excited. The story behind why I created the BTB Blueprint. When I was a kid, I didn't have the kind of coach that saw beyond my tennis ability. Every coach that I went to that I would pay money for lessons or advice, would typically keep it between the lines of the tennis court and help hone in my skill set. But there were very few people or coaches that actually fed into my life in a way that allowed me to have mentorship opportunities. And, ultimately I had talent for a tennis player, but I also carried a lot of pain. I grew up in a home filled with addiction, fear, uncertainty. I didn't know how to process a lot of those emotions. And honestly, I didn't think anyone really ever cared to ask. I remember one night when I was 14 years old, I went out on a run with shoes that were 2 sizes too big, trying to outrun a lot of the pain that I was feeling from that particular night. My mom was an alcoholic, and it was at night when she was home that she would say some really mean and hurtful things. And that run was me trying to get away from those mean and hurtful things. I wasn't running towards something. I was running from something, from shame, from feeling not enough, from the belief that my story, my goals, what I wanted to do in my life, that it didn't matter. And looking back, what I needed most wasn't another practice, another footwork pattern or drill, or a lecture about effort. I needed someone to see me, tell me that I was being able to go through something, and what I was going through didn't define who I was becoming. I needed a coach who could help me believe that I was built to be something great. So fast forward after 14 years old to my gap year after high school. So I graduate high school and I go to a tennis academy and lose over 100 pounds in 13 months. And I walk on to play Division I college tennis. And after facing my own battles, including eventually losing my mom to an alcoholic seizure at 20 years old, and fighting through a tumor in my spinal canal, and also some difficult circumstances growing up with my cousins, and some deep-rooted trauma that I've had to work through, I realized something really powerful. I realized that adversity doesn't break you, it builds you up. And the lessons tennis has taught me, discipline, resilience, teamwork, perseverance, those were the same tools that I used to rebuild my life. That's when I knew I had to become the coach I never had. I had to become somebody that I really needed growing up. And I had to flip the switch after my collegiate tennis career. I wanted to give back to as many people as possible to help them become what they are built to be. So knowing that I wanted to become the coach like I never had, This wasn't just for athletes that were still competing, but for those who have stepped off the court, for those who have stepped off the field. Athletes that are trying to figure out, what do I do with my life after athletics? What's next? How do I navigate this? See, for too many former athletes, the game ends. But the habits, the identity, and the competitive fire haven't gone anywhere. It's still channeled up on the inside. Where do you channel it to, right? A lot of athletes go from structure in their athletic programs to confusion being on their own. From purpose, going after their athletic goals, to pressure to try to figure out, man, what do I do with my life? How do I fill this void that I don't have with sports anymore? The victories, the wins are now silence. You're there on your own. So what do you do? That's why I've created the BTB Blueprint. This is the opportunity to give back in a way that I never could have imagined when I first started the BTB Project. But the BTB Blueprint is very simple. It's a 12-week coaching experience designed to help athletes, men or women, rebuild identity, discipline, and purpose after the playing days are over. I had to make that same exact transition. Here I am as a husband and a father, 3 kids, almost 15 years of marriage. And when my career ended suddenly due to a tumor that was removed from my spinal canal, I had to shift pretty quick on going from being the guy that hits forehands and backhands to starting my own company or starting a sales career. This program, it's everything I wish I had when I was 14 and I was on that run. But it's everything that I've learned over the last 20 years of coaching others to become who they are built to be. I've seen this work. So if you've ever felt like your best days were behind you, you're making that shift into the real world. If you've ever wondered who you are without the sport that's consumed you most of your life, this program is for you. Your next season, your next chapter starts now. Your athletic career might be over, but your purpose isn't. Do me a favor. If you're interested in the BTB Blueprint, like and subscribe to the BTB Project. Better yet, tap the link in the show notes or DM me the word BTB to learn more about the BTB Blueprint. Because sometimes the coach you needed growing up is the one you were built to be. I look forward to helping each and every one of you to the best of my ability. This blueprint will change your life. I've seen it happen in my own life, and I've seen it happen in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of others. Impossible is nothing. Let's do this.